Looking back on 30 years in Congress is sort of a self-indulgent thing, but I remember, I've told the story a number of times, so forgive me if you've heard it, about my first term in Congress. And I was coming back to Spokane and to Eastern Washington almost every weekend. And I would go out to Dulles Airport at night and fly to Atlanta and fly from Atlanta to Seattle and stay 3 hours in Seattle and fly back to Spokane and spend the weekend in Spokane or someplace else in the district. And I was in one of these mobile lounges that go back and forth from the terminal to the airplanes at Dulles, and the United agent came in and said, "Is there Congressman Foley on board?" I raised my hand. "Thomas Foley?" "Yeah." "Thomas S. Foley?" "Yeah." "Thomas S. Foley of Washington?" "Yes." And then he said in a very loud voice, "Mr. Congressman, please come with me immediately. President Johnson is calling for you urgently." I hadn't met the president yet, so I was a little surprised. I followed him, and he was kind of make way for the congressman through the concourse, pushing people aside, and took me into the office of United between the two ticket counters and made everybody leave, made all the people who were working there leave, and he bowed himself out the door, and I was alone with a telephone off the hook. I picked it up, and I said, "Thomas Foley," and the voice on the other end said, "Thomas Foley of Washington?" "Yes." "Thomas S. Foley?" "Yes." "Congressman Thomas?" "Yes." "Mr. Congressman, this is the White House switchboard. Will you please hold now for the president?" In a few minutes, a familiar Texas voice came on the telephone and said, "John?" And I said, "No, Mr. President, Tom Foley." There then followed a short word beginning with S that in Texas is pronounced in 2 syllables. And a huge barrage that would make a sailor blush language, damn, dum, 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 dum. "I didn't want you, I wanted John Fogerty of Rhode Island." It was the single most depressing moment of my political career. Not even a minor apology. "I'm sorry, Tom, it got the wrong person," or anything. So I was sitting there visibly, to anybody who was in the room, and then no one was there, shaken. And I was still smoking, so I had a couple of cigarettes and calmed my nerves and got up and went out the door, and the United agent was there, and he said, "Mr. Foley, did you and President Johnson finish your conversation?" And I said, truthfully, "Yes, the president and I have finished our conversation." He took me back to the mobile lounge, rode out to the airplane with me, told the flight attendant, "Please upgrade Congressman Foley from economy to first class at the convenience of United Airlines. He had just had a most important conversation with the President of the United States." But the truth of the matter is, later on as a member, I heard Lyndon Johnson give what I thought was the most emotionally persuasive speech that I ever heard a president give in supporting the Voting Rights Act, to give all Americans the opportunity to vote, regardless of race or background. And I heard Lyndon Johnson espouse the notion of a war on poverty, to end the deep divisions of our society based on economic opportunity. And I think those days convinced me that the Democratic Party has a continuing obligation to maintain its high commitment to bring to our society fairness and equity and opportunity at all levels. And that's why I'm still very, very proud to be a Democrat. Public office is a gift. It's a gift of a free people. It's the greatest gift that anyone interested in public life can receive: the confidence, the support, the hope of the American people who give you that great gift. And I know that's the way Maria and Jay and Lisa and all those who run for office feel about it. It is also an opportunity for us as voters to have that confidence, to give people an opportunity to do their best for us. And that's why I'm confident that this party can again assert the responsibility of leadership in our government, bring our country back to a truer and better course for the future, enable us to have decent health care, educational opportunities, energy independence, and a constitutional system that can be the pride not only of our people, but the model for those around the world. And tonight, thank you. And tonight, I just can't thank you all enough for this great honor, and I hope in whatever time I have left, I can continue to try to deserve that a little bit. Thank you so much.